welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm Keishla Adderley sitting in this morning. Hope you're enjoying the start of your day. We're going to take it straight out to our Basil Dean with a check of how the weather is shaping up. Good morning, Basil. This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Good morning, Keisha. 31 days remaining in the tropical cyclone season. We have an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms west of the Azores Island. Has a very low chance of development, so we would not worry about that at all. But outside of our studios on our ZNS Tower Camp, we're showing some patchy clouds out there. And on our satellite picture across the Bahamas, high pressure remains in control of our weather. There's a little tropical wave that's working its way through the southeast Bahamas. Could bring 1 or 2 passing showers to the area sometime on Thursday. Outside of our studios, partly cloudy, temperature 79 degrees, your relative humidity 83%, easterly winds at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,016.7 millibars, that's 30.02 inches, and it is rising. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 77 degrees in Marsh Harbor, Green Tulkey, also in Freeport in the Berry Islands, 81 in Alistown, Bimini, 80 degrees in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Alistown, Cat Island, Stanley Key, Kemps Bay, St. Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Islands, all at 80 degrees. More 80s showing up in San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown, Exuma. In in Ragged Island, 80 degrees, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Matthew Town, Inagua at 80, the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. Your boating forecast for today in the northwestern islands, the winds are going to be easterly, 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Your high tide will take place at 9:03 in the morning. Low tide 3:31 this afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, winds easterly 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags up. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks, Basil. We're going to take it out to the streets. We hope the traffic isn't too bad out there. We'll check in with our Lloyd Allen to see how things are looking.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Well, good morning again. Back at the studio this morning, we are reporting your traffic this morning from the intersection of Old Trail Road and Prince Charles Drive. Already, we have observed many drivers on the road making their way to their various destinations on the island. As we have observed as well, no obstructions seem to be happening in this area. All traffic lights seem to be well and working. And we do want to remind drivers again of those regular traffic rules, one of which includes turning left at a traffic light. You do have the go ahead, but of course you want to keep an eye open for oncoming traffic or pedestrians. Additionally, as you're driving, be reminded that there are roadworks that continue in the area of Nassau Street North. Other than that, we do want to advise drivers to, of course, drive with safety and caution as they make their way to their various destinations on the island this morning. But that's all for now. Reporting back to you in studio, it's a great Wednesday. Have a good morning.
In the headlines this morning, new legislation put in place an authority to oversee some aspects of disaster management now before Parliament. Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Dr. Hubert Minnis, gave the first reading of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority Bill in the House of Assembly last evening. The nation's leader explained the purpose of the proposed legislation.
The bill for an act provides for the establishment of a body corporate to be known as the Disaster Reconstruction Authority for the function and powers relating to that authority for the designation of disaster zone and special economic recovery zone and for connected matters. Mr. Speaker, I'd only like to state that this bill also has one of the responsibility of the authority to establish the Bahamas National Recovery and Reconstruction Trust Fund. And Mr. Speaker, that would allow for monies allotted for repairs and reconstruction of homes to be completely controlled by the private sector and with no government involvement per se, Speaker. But more details will be given at some later date.
The way forward for port development in New Providence also outlined in a new bill. The Harbor Dues Amendment Act 2019 was passed in the House of Assembly overnight after debate on the amendment bill was led by Minister of Transport and Local Government and Member of Parliament for Bamboo Town, the Honourable Renwood Wells. The government signed a 25-year, $250 million heads of agreement with Global Ports Holding in August to redevelop and manage the Nassau Cruise Port. Wells reiterated that Global Port Holdings will own 49% of the cruise port, the Bahamas Investment Fund and investment vehicle that will allow Bahamians to invest in the project will own another 49%, and the Yes Foundation will own 2%.
Funds generated for the government and by extension, the people of the Bahamas as a result of an amendment to this bill will seek to facilitate much needed development and spur the economic growth that we have continuously touted and projected in our manifesto. Mr. Speaker, the Harbor Dues Act was passed in 1954 and currently provides for the levying of harbor dues and other rates, dues and charges in connection with the use of harbor facilities. These fees, Mr. Speaker, are collected by and paid to the Comptroller of Customs for deposit in the Consolidated Fund.
Tourism Minister, the Honourable Dionisio Diagler, offered positive sentiments about the deal.
During the projected 2-year construction period, Nassau Cruise Port Limited is to pay the government of the Bahamas an annual lease charge, which will be the greater of $2 million a year, or 50 cents per passenger movement. In 2019, that would have equated to $2.5 million. Once that port is upgraded, the annual lease payment will go to $2.5 million, a base, or 50 cents per passenger movement. And before anyone starts hollering, that ain't still enough, remember now, Mr. Speaker, the government will still be getting its $18 per passenger in departure tax, and now we'll be getting for the first time VAT on the passenger facility charge charged to each passenger moving through the port. That should equate to another $2.5 million, making, when added to the $2 million lease payment, $4.5 million per year, which will be about $4.5 million more than we are netting right now from the port.
Well, the bill isn't sitting well with the opposition. Member of Parliament for Engliston, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, in her contribution to the debate, expressed misgivings over the government's 25-year deal with Global Ports Holdings. Now, she suggested it was not in the best interest of Bahamian people.
You don't need to tout that company, okay? Because they all through the region, here, there, and everywhere, Speaker. What we will be debating today is a betrayal of our birthright and a betrayal of generations to come. This company will dominate our port for at least a generation. And mark my words, depending on the circumstances, we may not get it back even then, Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I say to them, transparency, my foot. People's time, my foot, Mr. Speaker. The Bahamas has truly become a nation for sale.
Well, opposition leader, the Honourable Philip Brave Davis, also weighing in on the debate, expressing the opposition's need to see the heads of agreement for the Global Ports deal.
If you had a track record of engaging in negotiations, right, that lends itself to the benefit of the Bahamian people, well, maybe we could take a chance. But, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, when you look at some of the arrangements and the process that was engaged by this government to enter into them, you have to be concerned. You cannot just, I ain't gonna sign nothing now, or sign up or agree to anything unless I see it.
Meanwhile, Transport Minister, the Honourable Renwood Wells, speaking out on the need for the newly formed International Ship and Port Security Compliance Unit. The new unit, which comprises of Defence Force officers and Marines, will operate with its own budget and regulate 23 port facilities. Minister Wells remains optimistic that the Security and Compliance Unit will provide a comprehensive oversight of the country's port and shipping industry.
Well, it's a part of our international commitment to be able to keep the ports of entry in the Bahamas secure. Cruise ports, cargo containers ports, they need to be ISPS compliant. And so we created a unit in the Ministry of Transport in the Port Authority, which is the compliance unit, the ISPS compliance unit that's going to ensure that all of our ports are internationally secure. Well, it's a part of our commitment to both the international community to really assure our international partners that the Bahamas is a place where they can be assured that the shipping containers are secured, that there's no opportunities for stuff to be transported through the Bahamas that should not be transported through the Bahamas into their territories. So it's a way to ensure security compliance.
Well, still to come in the morning edition, the strike vote taken by employees of the National Insurance Board will be presented to a judge today. That story and more when the morning edition returns.
Look, it's simple. Fidelity can consolidate all your bills for their debt consolidation loan. Give you one monthly payment and money in your pocket.
So let me get this straight, Miss Financial Coach. You say something but cash in my pocket?
Yes.
And a savings plan with 5% interest? Wow, finally! A bank that's looking out for me. What you want me to sign?
That's not all. We also offer competitive interest rates and free financial coaching.
That's right, LD. You ain't hear me. Where do I sign?
When a hurricane strikes, there are many critical needs to survival. Water is one of them. Access to clean water to drink, bathe, and wash things is often hard to come by, particularly in remote areas. While it's tempting to use whatever water is available, there are a few things that you should do to make sure that your drinking water is safe to consume or use. Boiling your water is one of them. Boiling water kills most pathogens that can be harmful. If your water is cloudy, filter it through a clean cloth or portable filter. You should boil filtered water for 1 minute, cool, and then store in a clean container with a lid. If boiling your water is not an option, you can disinfect it with bleach. Use 1/8 teaspoon or 8 drops per gallon, then let it stand for 30 minutes. Remember, this water should be stored in a clean container with a lid. Ensuring the highest level of food, animal, and plant safety in the Bahamas. This message is brought to you by the Bahamas Agricultural Health and Food Safety Authority and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back. Health officials are closely monitoring reports of 2 cases of scabies. They broke out at shelters here in New Providence where hurricane evacuees are housed. Hundreds of hurricane survivors are being accommodated and health officials are on the alert. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says there have been complaints of itching, but he said medication has been provided. And he also noted that shelters are ideal places where you have many people in close proximity for the potential of the spread of infections like this one. The strike vote taken last week by employees of the National Insurance Board will be taken to court this morning. According to the Department of Labor, the vote was not conducted in accordance with the regulations stipulated. Meantime, the director of the National Insurance Board, Dr. Nicola Virgil Roll, says NIB is operating in good faith.
We continue to work with both of our unions, and that's a pledge that all of the executive team has. That's certainly the view of the chairman and the board of the National Insurance Board in order to ensure good working relations. We have 2 industrial agreements. One is expired, one is near expiring. And so we understand that tensions occur as these things are negotiated, and that's a normal part of the process. But we will give our full commitment to negotiating in good faith and continuing the dialogue so that we come with an amicable solution for both the board and our workers.
So the work rule is not a
Now, Virgil Roll noted that the board will continue with changes to enhance services, and she also pointed out the fact that at least $14 million are outstanding from employers.
We're making sure that we contact all of our employers who have balances with us. We have a robust inspectorate department as well, which go out and make contact with their employers in their portfolios. And so we're continuing this process so that we are able to talk to employers. Often when we speak to employers, we're able to come into an installment arrangement with employers, and so they're able to pay over time to bring their contributions back up and out of arrears. And so that process continues. We always have options of court, but we look at that as a last resort. We are trying to ensure that we receive those contributions because we want those credited to the employees' accounts, and so that they can benefit in their time of need.
Director General of Tourism Joy Gibberlew weighing in on executives of Baker's Bay Golf Course and Marina and their plans to sever ties with 300 of their employees following extensive damage to the property as a result of Hurricane Dorian. Gibberlew says although the closure will impact hundreds of tourism professionals, she has some comfort in knowing that while the resort will close for 18 months to 2 years, they won't be closing for good.
We know that Baker's Bay sustained damage, and to learn that they will be closed potentially for 18 months, for us from a tourism standpoint, that speaks to the fact that when they open, they'll be opening with excellence. It's also an opportunity, and we're having conversations within the Ministry of Tourism of how do you build back better. So we're hoping that within that 18 months that not just Baker's Bay, but all those properties that are closed, we'll look at how do we build back using renewable energies, looking at sustainable tourism, and building to withstand hurricanes, the strength of which we've just seen.
We'll expect to see a heavy presence of correctional officers in the community as the body celebrates 67 years of service to this country all month long. One of the highlights is the annual Fun Run Walk. Chairperson for sporting events, Chief Corrections Officer Aidan Nairn, says while the memorial and long service awards ceremonies are important, being health conscious is as well.
We have a lot of officers on job. Some of them are overweight. Some of them have also maybe suffering from diabetes or other diseases, so those persons who are not affected by those diseases, then it would be best for them to keep in shape, keep the blood flowing, keep the sugar level low, from Goodman's Bay to Starbuck and back. The runners will also run from Goodman's Bay to Sandyport Bridge and back, which is a 5-mile run. There's a pre-registration fee going on now, which is $12. The registration fee is free, but $12 is for the tickets, for T-shirts. So I encourage your entire family to come along.
Well, Correctional Corporal Kendra Higgs-Roll talked about the gala ball and why you should be there.
This event will be held on Saturday, the 30th of November at the Atlantis Crown Ballroom, 7 p.m. sharp. The dress attire will be formal wear. I want to extend an invitation to all interested persons and those who are still undecided to grab hold of a ticket and secure your attendance at our Corrections Gala Ball.
Well, Halloween is just one day away, and the little ones are already preparing their costumes for tomorrow. Parents will also be out today to select the right designs. Our Charles Fisher was also out on the hunt.
I'm getting an early jump start at Halloween, and I'm here with Mitzi Brown here at Partyland, and I'm shopping for my trick-or-treat Halloween treat. Mitzi, good morning and welcome to the Morning Edition.
Good morning, and it's good to be here.
Lots of stuff to offer you.
Yes, we do have a lot of stuff to offer. We have an assortment of accessories if you want to accessorize your costume. We have the fake blood. We have the liquid latex if you want to put that skin on and make yourself look like a real zombie with the blood oozing down. you can do that. Okay, we have the makeup and everything that you need to accessorize your costumes. We have the costumes. You can just come on down and see what we have.
I smell something real creepy going on here with my good friend. I'm with the boo girl now, Gwendia. Gwendia, Halloween is not for the faint of heart. Some of these creatures can be very intimidating.
Yes, they can. For instance, our friend right here scares all of the kids as soon as they enter. This is the It Clown. Before, we had a red balloon tied to him to give him the full effects. As simply as just walking or any sound effect triggers him off. And as you can see, you could imagine walking in the store and getting caught by surprise by that, or in any haunted house. And then we have, well, as you can see, this is Fish's favorite friend from he's walked inside here. And then over in the corner here is who I like to call my groom, my husband. He's hiding in the back there. He's been one of our top sellers as well, between him and the It Clown.
This one reminds me of one of my favorite co-workers. I won't call their name, but they are right around watching me this morning. Hello.
Oh, adults have been getting into it as well. We have an assortment of adult costumes. We're superheroes. We have the Nun, which is very popular. You know, a lot of persons want to coming in and looking for that particular costume, male and female. We have sexy costumes. We have scary costumes. We have also the superhero costumes for the adults as well as the children. The catchy ones would be Disney characters. Frozen is popular. The Lion King is popular. Toy Story is popular. We have the little vamps also, which is popular.
And I see you all have my stuff. This is for the hard-working people like me. I need this. I've been screwing off some people in a little bit longer than I thought, and this will...
Yes, we have all of them. We have all of Jason's knives. We have daggers. We have Thor's hammer. We have all of the forks and the pickaxes and everything you need to accessorize your costume.
Am I accessorized, all right?
You hot mess.
Happy Halloween from Bodyland!
Well, coming up in our next segment, the Morning Edition takes you live to BTVI as officials share their expansion plans. Stay with us.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major health challenges globally, affecting over 300 million persons worldwide. The suspicion of hepatitis may be a challenge, as there are typically no symptoms. However, if infected, non-specific symptoms may include decreased appetite, nausea, vague abdominal discomfort, jaundice or yellow eyes, and abnormal liver function tests. If not treated, hepatitis of any type can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer, which leads to over 1 million deaths worldwide. If you suspect you may have been exposed to the virus that causes hepatitis, talk to your doctor today and get tested.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to mash down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys' waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been jonesing for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life.
Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
Welcome back. The Bahamas Feeding Network has been making an impact. Since Hurricane Dorian, the group has been visiting a number of shelters, providing a triple portion of meals. Executive Director Philip Smith on their work.
So here in Nassau, we are cooking 1,200 meals per day for the various centers. In addition to that, we do about 5 to 6. Well, the other thing is that our numbers have increased. So we normally cook 5,500 to 6,000 meals a week. But what we have noticed is that there are persons coming probably from homes, people who would have come and lived with family members or friends. So we're having a lot of those people now come here to the Senate to collect food as well. So those numbers of 5,500 has probably gone up now to about 6,500 per week.
Well, Smith also describes his relationship with Royal Caribbean.
In Grand Bahama, we have been working along with Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, who have been our partners over for about a year now. They've been just absolutely amazing. They've been cooking on the ships in Grand Bahama. They were cooking on their ships and then bringing to the shore 20,000 meals a day in Grand Bahama. We were assisting in the distribution of those meals.
The Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute expanding its reach to impact its students. Our Lloyd Allen is live this morning with officials from BTVI with all of the details. Good morning to you, Lloyd.
Yes, good morning again, and good morning, Bahamas. Just recently, about $9 million was handed over to those here at the Bahamas Vocational and Technical Institution to continue infrastructural development project. I have with me the president of this organization this morning, who's going to talk a little bit more about how that investment is now being invested here on campus. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, give us your name again and your prestigious title.
Yes, sir. My name is Bob Robertson. I'm the president of BTVI.
So over the course of the next few months, how do you intensively plan to develop here?
So this loan is actually for a 2-year period, and basically what we're going to be doing is looking at improving the physical plant. A lot of these buildings are 20, 30 years old, and they really need to be upgraded. So there's a physical component to the grant. The other part, though, is to improve the capacity of the instructors who are here, give them some additional training, and essentially it's all about helping the students. We have about 5,000 students now, and it's really important that we bring them up to today's global standards.
And I know another component of that development process is really heightening and developing your security system here as well.
Yes. So with 5,000 students, as you might expect, there are concerns potentially about having the system secure. And so we'll be looking at adding CCTV cameras, for example, and making sure that we use electronic locks on the buildings to secure the physical plant, the computers and things that are in it. So it's a combination of a variety of things. But we have about 2 years to do this. We have a couple of very competent people who've been hired to lead us through it, and we've got great support from the Ministry of Education.
And one of those last questions I'd like to ask you, I term it the private partnership projects. A lot of P's there. And so again, that's really inviting private companies to for those short, really powerful training programs for their staff. Talk to us about how that works.
So one of the things that's happened at BTVI in the last maybe 2 or 3 years is we've had a lot of interest from companies coming to us asking for specific trainings, maybe around welding or customer service or general maintenance, for example. And so we've had a variety of companies both here and in Freeport who have taken advantage of the skills that are available through our instructors and through the school to upgrade their employees. And so most companies are recognizing that employees are their most valuable asset, and they really have to continue to invest in them to keep them current. And so we're seeing a real uptick in the interest in that area.
Well, awesome there. And so obviously this morning, by no surprise, you have several students with you this morning. Give us your name quickly, and we'll talk a little bit.
My name is Jeffrey Cantor.
My name is Carol LaFleur.
My name is Joshua Clinton.
My name is Clarence Bryce.
So students, talk to me. I know all of you here for different reasons. You work in the office and you work with bringing students in, helping students to really tap into this free education. How's that been for you?
It's been great. I heard stories whereas persons, they actually want to be free and they actually want the education so badly. They actually come down here and they come and they apply and they wouldn't stop until they actually bring all their documents in so they can be in the classes for next term.
Excellent. Also, you're representing the Student Christian Movement. Talk to us about the ABCs of Christianity.
Yes, the ABCs is an acronym that we developed over the course of the years. An assembly that A, all have sinned and fall short of the glory. B, believing on Christ and you should be saved. And C, confessing your sins, knowing that because Christ's blood atoned for you and now saved and justified by his blood.
All right. Also, speaking on behalf of the Kiwanis Club, I have another student here. Talk to us a little bit about how Kiwanis has helped you as a future businessman to really begin the process of developing your business.
Rotary has helped me with networking. Yeah. It has helped me with networking and being able to communicate and make connections with others. So that is a big aspect for companies. So with networking, it can improve the company, like get you out there and allow you to make new connections as well. I didn't want to say it again, but make new connections to help your business improve, or you can get sponsors and other stuff like that. So.
Awesome news there. And finally, we're talking about e-gaming this morning. How does that work here on campus?
Actually, that works really well here on campus, considering that it started here on campus with our particular club, PSG.
And it stands for?
Bahamas Esports Guild. It's actually very networkable and very profitable for those members of the club, and also when we go travel outside to let people know that there's money to be made inside esports, and there's also new opportunities to be made, and that the Bahamas is ready to stand on the world stage when it comes to gaming.
So a lot of information there, Mr. President, and so of course as BTVI continues to develop, I know you have several students who have come over from the islands, Grand Bahamas particularly. We spoke earlier about the damage that's ongoing there. $500,000, you said?
At least in Freeport.
Yeah.
In Freeport alone. And of course, Abaco is a different issue. We're still working on the Freeport campus. It's up and running now, but we're using high school currently. And we will hopefully be up and running completely by the end of next term, by the end of spring 2020.
And so in the meantime, many of those students have made their way here. You've facilitated them, obviously. How's the adjustment been so far?
So we have had about 70 students make their own way from Abaco and Freeport to the main campus here, and they're living with family and friends. But it just illustrates how committed they are to staying in courses. They don't want to give up the term. So they're doing quite well, but obviously dealing with a lot of personal and family issues. But we've talked to them. We've had a lunch for them. We try to support them as best we can. And they're generally doing pretty well.
Some great news there. So this morning, reporting from BTVI, we're talking about the ABCs in tertiary level education. Reporting back to you in studio.
Thanks, Lloyd. Well, over in Grand Bahama, BTVI preparing to bounce back from the storm. Megan Shepard tells us what's happening now.
The ground floor at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute stripped to the bones and covered in tarp now, some 3 weeks since reopening following Hurricane Dorian. Associate Vice President Veronica Colley says that the school suffered significant damage and lost critical labs and equipment.
The whole ground floor, we lost everything. Machines, we have a welding lab, we had a welding lab, we had auto lab, all of the machines in all those areas, all of the offices downstairs. We are now operating out of some offices and classrooms upstairs, and we are also using St. George's in the evenings. We just opened on October the 7th, so we're using St. George's in the evenings thanks to Mr. Barr, the principal at St. George's. We're using mainly the labs that they have there. That would replace the labs that we have here at BTVI Freeport, but we incurred a great loss.
Now, many persons fled the island for a new life or just for a break. Colley says that this impacted numbers at the institution. She added that while some courses had to be canceled this semester, thankfully, they were able to keep the majority of classes.
Only where we saw there was under-enrollment or the courses were undersubscribed. We probably canceled a few. The courses that we might not have offered this semester would be like what we call professional development. Usually that is offered like around October, but we don't see that probably happening. But our regular courses, we tried to keep those courses once we had sufficient students in the classes. So as far as enrollment, like I said, we dropped by about 50% because really our enrollment was like over 500, which is a plus for BTVI Freeport. So we're looking at roughly about 250. But like I said, we tried to keep the courses going so that the students could actually be in the courses that they need to do to prepare for graduation.
Like many businesses on the island, crews are on site working around the clock to bring the institution back to working conditions. Colley says they are hoping to have the ground floor back in use in the shortest possible time.
We've been having meetings every morning with our board. We are working at getting everything done by the end of this semester. The focus was making sure we get the first floor to where it needs to be. We were able to just get temporary, what we call it, power. So we're now on power, full power, not using the generator. And if you've noticed, we've been cleaning out front, so we want to make sure the front looks proper, like in the way it should look for the students to come to the campus. So now we're going to phase 2, which will involve, we're actually doing some remodeling, so which will involve actually getting the building up to where it needs to be, and we are looking at that happening by the end of this semester.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Hey, I'm joined by Charles Fisher now. I haven't seen you since Cat Island.
Well, I'm getting ready to go back there again.
Oh, you didn't invite me?
No, not this time. We don't take sand to the beach.
Oh! Anyway, I'll leave that there. What's coming up in sports?
Well, coming up in sports, we're going to continue to talk about this big softball tournament that they're having on the weekend. Hurricane Dorian, you leave and you're asking me off air about DeAndre. He's yet to make any statement. With Bahamas Basketball Federation, they are now starting to talk about it. And we have lots of stuff coming up in sports, and we're getting ready for trick or treat. I want to know what you're wearing tomorrow. That's a lot of people have been calling me since they see what's Keishla wearing tomorrow.
Well, that'll be a surprise.
I found something for you. I found something for just about every staff member when I did that story. Every time I went there, I saw something that reminds me of everybody. Saw one for Randy, saw one for fun, but I couldn't find one for you. It's so hard to figure out.
Now, you look like you had too much fun in that store, though. You were like a kid in a candy store.
I'm the kid again.
Yeah.
I got my costume as well.
I can't wait.
Wait.
Stay tuned. Sports is up next.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the Bahamas and in Bahamian women. At present, we are unable to prevent breast cancer, but performing screening mammograms can detect breast cancer at its earliest when there are no symptoms and when it is more likely to be treated successfully. All women should have a primary health care provider who is aware of their medical history, family history, and risk factors. Women 40 to 45 years can choose whether to start screening in consultation with their physician. All women 45 to 54 years should have an annual mammogram. Women older than 55 years can have a yearly mammogram or choose to have one every 2 years. Monthly breast self-exams in conjunction with the mammogram can increase the odds of early detection. Be proactive about your health.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas Tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence. We cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the Northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
You can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
Good morning once again. Still no word from DeAndre Ayton after last week's suspension or 25 games by the NBA. He, neither his team or the NBA Players Association has yet to make a statement. Meantime, as he continued to sit out his 25-game suspension for the Phoenix Suns, Bahamas Basketball Federation President Mario Boleg is weighing in on the situation this morning.
Knowing the nature and his character, I think he would have been, in his workload, might have been taking some, I would say, some substance to assist himself, but not knowing what was in the medication that he might have been taking. So I believe what he's saying, and I think that the NBA Coaches Association is going to fight it, and I believe that his game will be reduced. You know, that's $2+ million that he's losing, and no one wants to lose that. And I think it's just an honest mistake.
Honest mistake as well. The Junior Baseball League of Nassau opening preseason play at the St. Andrews Field of Dreams with girls softball last night. Preseason games will continue for the next 3 weeks, with the regular season starting on Wednesday, November 20th, with 5 weeks of games before breaking for the Christmas holiday. Spice Girls taking on the newest team in the league, the squad named as the Hit Squad. They were under the lights after reaching the championship last year, only to lose to the distributors. The Spice Girls picked up a 19-5 win. As for both coaches, they're just trying to work out those kinks.
We like to have fun and try to get in games, get up the game speed. So basically, it was a good win. It's a new team. Just entered the league this year. We now have 7 teams, so like I said, it's a preseason game. Just wanted to have some fun and get in the softball cheek. From here, 2 more preseason games, and then we get ready for the series. And hopefully, on paper, we have one of the better teams in the league, and so hopefully we'll be able to show that on the field and go to the championship.
It was okay. The girls, this is their first time, for a lot of them, this is their first time playing the back of JBL, and it was fun. All our players wasn't able to come out, I guess, because of the timing and what's not. But we still wanted to bring the girls out tonight to have a little practice and experience the lights, playing under the lights for themselves. Everybody was playing out of position. We was just trying a few stuff. Nobody was actually playing their particular position except maybe for the catcher, you know. But these girls have a lot of heart. So if we ever end up in a dog fight, you know, I expect for them to growl to the very end.
Team Bahamas leaves town today for the Caribbean Cycling Championships. The championships were originally scheduled to be held in Haiti, but had to be pushed back due to the unrest in that country. Cuba is now the host, and the Bahamas will be sending a smaller team than anticipated.
We have 2 persons, and Anthony Colebrook, who was the national champion, road champion, and Jay Major, who came third in that race. Those persons also had qualified for these championships, but what happened is because of business and personal commitments, they are unable to make the team.
Now, the Caribbean Cycling Confederation's Congress and elections also slated to take place. President of the Bahamas Cycling Federation, Roy Colebrook, believes he has a good chance to be on the new board as vice president.
I was nominated not just by the Bahamas, but by other countries. You know, I've been in this for some time now, and person feels as if, you know, I'm one of the persons who they really look at for that tenure education-wise, all that stuff, as one of the leaders in the Caribbean to take Caribbean cycling to different levels.
Bahamas Softball Federation All-Star Classic a few days from now. Teams will be in from Grand Bahama, Abaco, Long Island, Exuma, Eleuthera, and 4 from New Providence. The main objective is to help those affected by Hurricane Dorian.
We know exactly what this hurricane did to the Bahamas, and we don't want everyone to think all is lost. All is not lost. We're going to come together. We're going to bounce back. We're going to help these people. We want to put smiles on their faces. And this is what sports does. Sports plays a big factor. So that's why we put this tournament on, and we said we're going to help these people.
Now, the tournament tips off on Friday right there at the Bankers Blue Hills Field. It's going to be exciting. And ZNS Radio will have some of the live actions for you on Friday and Saturday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM from 8 to 10 each night. So you folks in the Family Island, you can tune in and listen to see just how your respective teams are doing. And that's going to do it for sports. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
When a hurricane watch or warning has been issued, it is extremely important to be prepared and know just what to do. Stay informed about the storm's path by listening to the radio or television for hurricane progress reports. Check emergency food and household supplies. Be sure you have extra batteries for flashlights and radios. Bring in outdoor items like lawn furniture and garden tools. Anchor objects that cannot be brought inside. Secure buildings by closing and boarding up windows. Remove outside antennas and satellite dishes. Turn refrigerators and freezers to the coldest settings, opening only when absolutely necessary and closing quickly. Purchase ice and store it in an ice chest. Keep drinking water in clean jugs and bottles. Clean your bathtub with bleach and fill it with water for washing and flushing, not for drinking, making sure to keep the bathroom door closed so that small children cannot access the filled tub. Do not go out to videotape or take photos of the storm. Take pictures from inside where it is safe and dry. There is no harm in being overly cautious where a hurricane is concerned. It is truly better to be safe than sorry. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
Explore the world of agriculture with us. Join me, your host, Carla Palmer, for continued adventures in agriculture and the marine environment as we head into Season 2 of the program, Agriculture Now. That's Agriculture Now, moving to a new date and time, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
As an artist, I travel all over the world, and I find inspiration all around me. From the people, and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south, and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Our final look at weather, 31 days remaining in the tropical cyclone season, and we have a non-tropical low several hundred miles to the west of the Azores, and it has a very low chance of developing, about a 30% chance. No problem for us at all. And we have a high pressure over the Bahamas that will continue to influence our weather for a couple more days. Front boundaries still remaining stationary over the southern United States will slowly start to move towards the south and east, and could get into the northwest Bahamas sometime on Thursday, triggering one or two brief showers. And a tropical wave also moving westward. That too will create 1 or 2 pockets of showers as well. Our forecast for today, partly sunny with a passing shower or two. High temperature around 87 degrees. And tonight we're looking at mainly clear, still on the warm side. 77 degrees for your low temperature. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. As that front moves in, some cloudiness on Friday with some showers in the forecast. Saturday looking pretty nice and pleasant. But on Sunday, we have that front back up on us again, triggering 1 or 2 showers as we head into the early part of next week. Those pockets of showers will continue off and on. Kishna?
Thanks a lot, Basil. Well, finally this morning, today, the team here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas will bid final farewell to our friend and brother, Fred Ferguson. A funeral service is set for this morning at St. Gregory's Anglican Church. Fred was a groundskeeper here at the corporation and a friend to us all. If he was alive this morning, he'd be here with us at the morning edition, and he would be here throughout the day, spreading the cheer that he did in his own unique way. We will certainly miss him. We love you, Fred, and we'll say those final farewells today. Good morning, everyone.